Yes, so good morning. Am I audible? Yes, so good morning. Am I audible? Yes, okay. Okay, so we are really saddened by the news of one of our board of directors having passed away, Mr. Vijay Kumar. So he has been instrumental in developing and running this institution. It has been a few days of struggle with COVID-19. I wish we stay in silence for a few minutes, few seconds, and then go ahead with today's class. Thank you. May his soul rest in peace. So, everybody, today our agenda will be to finish few MCQs in agriculture. Since most of you found the last Modern India MCQs revision really helpful, I thought of doing again such a format with the general agriculture questions. So we are going to keep today's class really short because of this news, and we'll compensate for it later. But today's class is more about setting a kind of what kind of questions could be asked அவ்வளவுதான் ஏன்னா மாடர்ன் இந்தியா ஹிஸ்டரியில சோர்சஸ் ஆர் லிமிட்டெட் ஓகே லிமிட்டெட் இன் த சென்ஸ் I kind of referred 3 to 4 books and took questions, but it's still limited because there are only 3 to 4. But here you see that in agriculture the sources are multiple. For instance, if you go into crops, there are a number of sources in the market. So I cannot even go behind every single crop and the geography and climate and vegetation, etc., because again they are given in your books and you can always go through it and read it quickly. So today we'll be solving 30 MCQs, and I request you to go back and read areas relating to this. If I'm dealing with 1 or 2 crops in class, kindly go and read all the crops, all the climatic conditions necessary for it. If I'm going to talk about organic farming, read in detail about organic farming and more. Okay, so that's how I have come up with a plan for today's class. Let me share the screen. So the host has disabled participant screen sharing. Oh, okay. Then I should be contacting. Just guys, give me a minute. Yes. Hope it's audible right now. Oh my God. It's happening. Yeah. I showed you the answers. Guys, why are you all silent? Okay, so you saw the answer and don't want to answer it. Okay, fine. See, in this list becomes important, okay, because we all know the recent amendments that have been made, but we need to have a general idea because this thing MSP எதுக்கெல்லாம் இருக்கு அப்படிங்கிறது was a question. So what could be possibly covered through Essential Commodities Act can also be a possible question. So yes, so I have to be alert here on and not show the answer before the question. Okay, now try this. This I thought is a polity angle associated with agriculture and food related stuff, and even essential commodities for that matter. So I thought I should give this. I'm happy I have a lot of honest future civil servants. Since they saw the answer, they are not answering. I'm really happy. Okay, one says A, the other one says D. Option D, Vijay Kumar says A. So you get a confusion only between A and D. Can you tell me what helped you crack this thing, Bhuvaneshwaran and Ramya? How did you arrive at the answer D, tax on agricultural income is under state. We all know it, right? Okay. So how did you actually eliminate 1, 2, and 3? How and why? What do you think the other three are part of? Central list or concurrent list or what? Okay, you eliminated 3 agricultural research and therefore came up with this thing. But shall I give you a shocking solution? Solution is actually C. Agricultural research actually comes under state list. This was a shocking news for me when I read yesterday all the 3 lists. Okay, so the other two, adulteration of foodstuffs and other goods, price control of essential commodities, comes under concurrent list. 3 and 4, agricultural research as well as tax on agricultural income, actually comes under state list. We might actually think, for instance, ICAR, அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய agri research related institutions are run by the centerங்கிற மாதிரி we have a impression, but agri research basically is the ambit of states. Okay, yes. So if you have doubts, you can even go back and read your Lakshmikant. It's explicitly given like this in your Lakshmikant. Okay, So, okay, 1 and 2 are concurrent list subjects, 3 and 4 are state list subjects. Yes. Now, question number 3. Again, Essential Commodities Act. Because I knew the other two ordinances in and out you would have studied. We can remember ICAR as coaching center for UPSC. Actually speaking, yeah, that's how things are operating over there. Most of them are actually aspirants. They don't do, kind of research. Mostly they are involved in preparing for UPSC when they are there. Answers, okay, Ramya says B. Vijay Kumar also says B too only. Okay. Can you explain why? Okay, so Haripriya says C. Hmm. Okay, someone who has said, okay, so imposition of stock limit by states where there is 100% increase, Bhuvneshwaran says is 150% increase. Is it 150%? Vijay Kumar, actually it's 50% for non-perishables. Yes, Vijay Kumar is actually right. Okay, so you got it right, the statement 1. And war, famine and extraordinary price, yes. Okay, so statement 2 is anyway right. First statement, look at this. Yes, if it is a horticultural produce, it will be 100% increase. Okay, if there is a 100% increase in price, then it matters. And if it is a non-perishable agricultural food item, it is actually 50%. Okay, that is how the new thing is. And here they have given 4 circumstances where central government can regulate the supply of certain food items. Okay, so regulation of food items like cereals, pulses, potato, onions, edible oilseeds, etc. only under 4 circumstances, that is war, famine, extraordinary price rise, and natural calamity of any grave nature. Yes, yeah. So solution is B. Good. Whoever said B, good. So who designates essential commodities? Can you answer this? I don't have a question per se on this. Who designates? Now that you solve few questions on Essential Commodities Act, let's say now remdesivir is considered to be an essential commodity. Who will announce it? Who will say that it is an essential, designate it as an essential commodity? It is an extraordinary circumstance, right? No. See, I just asked whether it's central government or state government. It is a central government which is vested with the responsibility of designating what is essential and what is not essential. Okay, though it comes under concurrent list, central government can only decide which is an essential good. Within the limitations prescribed by the Essential Commodities Act and the rules given by the center, some amount of leeway alone the state has. okay, in order to regulate the supply of any essential commodity. But it is still within the rules framed by the central government. State government doesn't have an explicit authority in dealing with essential commodities. Okay, so that you need to understand. Okay, now this one, APMC Act 2003 does not contain which of the following provisions? APMC Act 2003. So, is there a chance of having contract farming? Then, this one, special markets for perishables. Have we known that concept? Farmers setting up their own markets. So, have we known all of them? Are they part of APMC Act 2003? So, does not contain. எது இல்லைன்னு கேக்குறாங்க. Okay, Ramya says option D. Vijay Kumar says option C, which is 3 only. Okay. So, any other answers? Anyone else wishes to answer? Sharmi says answer is D, none. Okay. Okay. So, listen to me. The thing is, APMC Act 2003 talks about all the three of these things, including special market for perishables. And the concept தான் தமிழ்நாட்டில் வந்து APMC Act 2003 is actually a model act. A lot of the states came up with their own versions of this particular act. Okay, so அந்த version படி for instance தமிழ்நாட்டில் இருக்க உழவர் சந்தை is for perishables தான். கரெக்ட்டுங்களா? ஸோ ஏபிஎம்சி ஆக்ட்ல இது மூணுமே இருக்கு. டஸ் நாட் கண்டெயின் கேட்டிருக்காங்க, அப்படி எதுவுமே இல்லை. ஸோ ஆன்சர் இஸ் டி, நன். ஓகே, ஸோ இஃப் யூ லைக் டு சி வாட் ஆர் தி அதர் திங்ஸ், contract farming is there, perishables market is there. Yes, this one is there, allowing farmers and private persons to set up their own market. So they can set up their own market அப்படிங்கிறது it's not new, it's there in APMC model 2003 itself. இதே மாதிரி agricultural policy-லயே வந்து they have given lot of the changes whichever we are talking about in the recent amendments or ordinances that have been brought in farmers welfare, or what we call as agri reforms. They are not at all new. Okay, they were proposed in the earlier acts as well as policies, and now it has been made into a proper legislation. Okay, that is the difference. Then relaxation of licensing norms, APMC related licensing issues, market fee, இது எல்லாத்தையுமே வந்து APMC model 2003 model act வந்து try to regulate. Okay, so just know that it's not new. Okay, only to tell you that it's not new, I have put up that question. Okay, try this one. So I told you, in fact we asked some question related to national agricultural policy already in our test series, so try and answer this one. I just wanted to know if you have gone and read it again. I think it was there in last test. Okay, Ramya says D, all of the above. Growth rate in excess of 4% per annum in the agriculture sector by 2020. Okay, privatization of agriculture. I think with privatization of agriculture only, that question in our test series was asked. So 2 is definitely a part of the answer if you have, taken that lesson from the test. So 2 definitely should be a part of the answer, which means only C and D are possible. Contract farming and land leasing, recognition of women's right on land, women's right and national agricultural policy. Is it possible? Okay, Meenu says all. Any other options? Yes. Any other options? Okay. Many of you are saying D. Okay, good. So answer is actually D. Okay, it speaks about even recognition of women's rights on land. It talks about sustainability. It talks about organic farming. It is actually like an umbrella thing. Okay. Okay, so went with statement 2 and then statement 5 is actually positive. Okay, that's a good way to look at it. Yes, women's right on the அந்த பீரியட்ல கொடுத்திருப்பாங்களா and why should agricultural policy talk about women's land ன்னு நம்ம மைண்ட் ட்ரிக் ப்ளே பண்ணும். But it is still a positive statement only. It is not like it prohibits women's right or something like that. So yeah, yes. So answer is D. Good. Now question number 6. Now I would like to test whether you have read the other two acts or not. Electronic trading platforms by FPOs and agri cooperatives. The next question is having a number and says maximum should not exceed. So looks like there are multiple tricks over there. Okay, let me see how you do it. Okay, Bhuvaneshwaran says answer is A, one only. The Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Act. A for 2. I'm doubtful for all crops. Okay, so all is also a trick word there. Okay, fine, yeah. So the point is, guys, actually these acts are named in a very bad way, meaning they could be misunderstood easily for one another's provisions. Okay, there is a serious issue with that thing actually, if you see. Okay, the first statement pertains to the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act. ஓகே ட்ரேட் அண்ட் ப்ரொமோஷன் ரிலேட்டட் தான் இது. நீங்க ஃபார்ம் சர்வீசஸ் அல்லது பிரைஸ் அஷூரன்ஸ்னு பார்த்ததுனால எஃபிஓஸ் அண்ட் அக்ரி கோஆபரேட்டிவ்ஸ் எலக்ட்ரானிக் ட்ரேடிங் இதெல்லாம் கேன் பி அ பார்ட் ஆஃப் இட்னு யூ கேன் நாட் அசியூம். Okay, so remember this act empowerment and protection is got to do with only contract farming. Okay, anything related to price is actually part of this one, Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Bill. Okay, so there can be an issue with the name itself, so read that act's name properly. Okay, then the contract farming agreement between the farmer and buyer actually should not exceed a maximum of 5 years. Okay, but if there can be instances, okay, there is an exemption saying if the crops annual crops life period itself is like 20-30 years, then there need not be this thing. Okay, 5 years restriction does not apply. Okay, some trees for instance or agroforestry related stuff, okay, it continuously gives its production and output, therefore 5 years period அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து it is actually very confining for this thing, contract farming. Yes, so I would like to I would like to tell you, you need to read that thing more. Yes, yeah. You people must be thinking, why am I asking so many questions from this particular part? But I strongly feel UPSC will not straight away ask from whatever has happened and what most of the current affairs in your market has actually covered. So yes, we need to step out and read more. It is very, very easy. If you generally understand what this is all about, you should be easily eliminating one of the options. Okay, Ramya says D, 2 and 3 only. How did you arrive at that answer, Ramya? Can you explain to us? Okay, Meenu says B, 1 and 2. Meenu, read the first statement again. Okay, it looks like the fundamental purpose வந்து serve ஆகாத மாதிரி இருக்கு. If you go and read it again. So solution is actually D, 2 and 3 only. Reason being, it brings contract farming out of the ambit of APMC. Okay. APMC ஆக்டுக்கு கீழ இருந்து கான்ட்ராக்ட் ஃபார்மிங்கை ரிமூவ் பண்ணனதான் இட் மேட் கான்ட்ராக்ட் ஃபார்மிங் a standalone இது ஓகே ஸோ அக்ரிகல்ச்சரல் ப்ரொடியூஸ் மார்க்கெட்டிங் கமிட்டியோட ரெகுலேஷன்ஸோட ஆக்ட்ல இட் வாஸ் ஜஸ்ட் மென்ஷன்ட் earlier that contract farming could be a part of it பட் அதுல இருந்து ஒரு எக்ஸ்ட்ரா அடிஷனா ஒரு முக்கியமான விஷயமா அதை கொண்டு வந்தது வந்து திஸ் மாடல் கான்ட்ராக்ட் ஃபார்மிங் ஆக்ட் இட்ஸ் a very simple thing. Okay, if you remove one, you'll come up with the answer. Yes? Now, this one. It's actually a very either, but we should be knowing this also. For kharif crops. For kharif crops. Yes. Why is everyone silent? Okay, Jekma says September. C. Okay, Sharmi also says C. Any other options? Before sowing, no guess, she says March. Okay. Okay, Bhuvaneshwaran also goes with March. Answer is actually B. It's in July. Okay, it's actually B. It is in July. Yes, I was also thinking before sowing, so it should be around March அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு, but it's around July தான். ஓகேங்களா? Okay. This is one another important area, Agmark. Okay, try this question. It is legally enforced through this particular act அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. Not applicable to processed or semi-processed food அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. Employed through private laboratories contracted under PPP model சொல்றாங்க. So now try and answer this question. It's actually an easy one if you had read about it. Okay, Bhuvaneshwaran says B. 2 and 3 only. Okay. Bhuvaneshwaran, any logic behind your answer? Option A, because eliminated statement number 2. Very good, Ramya. Okay, so it is not applicable to processed or semi-processed foods அப்படிங்கிறது it's a wrong statement because it actually takes into account semi-processed foods. Okay, அக்மார்க்கு வந்து semi-processed foodsக்கும் labels போட்டிருப்பாங்க நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா. So அந்த practical idea வச்சு you can eliminate 2 and come up with answer A, 1 only. Solution is A. Okay, so if you see here, private laboratories கிடையாது. Private laboratories வச்சு நம்ம standard certify பண்ணோம்னா it becomes a problem. Okay, it happens through AGMARC specified labs. Okay, it is through AGMARC labs தான். Okay, whatever process is happening. Yes. Okay, now coming to FPO. FPO and SFAC are very, very important for the examination point of view. So now try and answer this particular question. It is mandatory. That is one trick on all processed fruit products. Okay. Then we have in a hygienic food safe environment. FPO either designate pannuma. So there are multiple things over there which you should be actually knowing. Ramya says C. Okay. How about others? Any other answers? Okay. Sharmi also says C. Okay. Nobody wants to answer? Okay, good. So the answer is actually C, both of you good. And FPO is one, the farmer producer organizations can say what is, hygienic product or what is not. But you need to understand something. This power for the FPO is actually guaranteed through Food Safety Assurance Standard Act of 2006. Okay, this is one real point which you should actually remember. Okay, the standards, again, the standards are ensured through FPO dane thavara, the standards are set through Ministry of Food Processing Industries. Okay, so these are small tricks. When it's a fruit processing related stuff, FPO is supposed to give a license. It is very, very important. And this mandatory ivanga certify pannanum அப்படிங்கிறது it came through FSSAI Act, and the standards are actually set by Ministry of Food Processing. Okay, so there are too many things involved in FPOs relating to certification. Okay, now this one, this is there in your what do I call it, the PT365 document itself. So I know that most of you would have read it, so I thought you will answer this one. If you remember, 2 weeks back, I guess, in our test series, we had a question on future trading of agricultural products in our question paper. So if you had gone back and read whatever is traded, which are the commodities which are being tracked in it, then you will know what this is about. And the question is, does not track the performance of which of the following? Okay, so Vijay Kumar says D. Open panni document பார்த்துட்டீங்களா இல்லை you have it in your head or how is it? Okay, Meenu says B. Actually, the answer is D. Okay, so there are 10 liquid commodities, 5 Carif and 5 Rabi, which have been actually taken into account for seeing the future market. But you need to see something here. None of the conventional crops or food related food crop related stuff are actually part of this thing. Okay, so if you remember that, it's quite easy to see this one. So just go through that list, what is part of it and what is not updating it. Okay, okay, this is a very important question. Okay, we saw a lot about history of cotton and textiles in our last class, so I thought let's see if these people have visited cotton in today's times. If you had just Googled about the recent trends in cotton textile, you would have got all these points. Let's see how many of you are getting it right. Okay, Minu says D, 3 and 4 only. Okay, so 3 and 4 meaning it is the second largest consumer, and within the country, Maharashtra has the highest area under cultivation. So Bombay, yeah, okay, somehow you came up to this. Why did you eliminate 1 and 2? May I know the reason? Okay. Anyone else who wants to try it? Come on, guys. These kind of questions of trends are always going to come up. Okay. So last class was more about the conceptual understanding, but here you have a lot of facts, and these are important for the exam, no doubt. Okay. 12 answer he says is C. 1, 2, and 4 only. He thinks it is not the second largest consumer. Mm-hmm. Okay. India, I guess, is the largest consumer. Okay, Ramya says that. Okay, so I think there are a lot of facts over here because we're largest producer, exporter, consumer. This is actually a confusing area for any crop. Okay, cotton எடுத்துக்கோங்க, jute எடுத்துக்கோங்க, sugar எடுத்துக்கோங்க, many milk, egg or poultry, இது எல்லாத்துலயுமே producer யாரு, exporter யாரு, consumer யாரு. This is very, very important. There are a lot of such trends given in your economic survey also, so you kind of need to have a vague idea about all of these things, because when it comes to agri products, India becomes first, second, or at least the third. Okay, in terms of either production or consumption, most of the products we are actually in an important place, so it's necessary for you to remember the trends. Yes. So answer is A. Okay. All of the above. All are right answers. Okay. So this I have actually picked the question from Invest India website. Okay. Regarding the cotton industry in India, they have given all the points over here. Okay. It is actually 23% of the global cotton production. Okay, so please go through the slides, since we are in a hurry to finish the class. I don't think we can read each line, but I definitely would suggest that you go and read at home the entire slide. Okay, I have, if you read these two slides, you can answer question on cotton industry in India. Okay, I have picked the all the relevant areas and put together. Now, so question number 13 is again from an important area. India is celebrating 150 years old jute industry, okay, in 2020. Okay, so 150 years since jute became an important product. So now try and answer this particular question on jute plantation or cultivation. Which among the following states, if you see, doesn't have primary jute plantation? Ramya, anything that is very specific to industry. For instance, cotton and jute are very important industries. Such very good export related stuff you can find in Invest India kind of website. Okay, and and there is also this PDF by PMFIAS which gives all of the trends regarding crops. So that could also be a source that you people use. Okay, that's a very good one. Okay, tell me, which doesn't have primary jute plantation of these three, or if it is not any of the three? Have you heard in Meghalaya, Tripura, Andhra Pradesh, etc.? Jute. Okay, very good, Bhuvaneshwaran and Vijay Kumar. Answer is actually D. Yeah, Abdina, jute is primarily grown in West Bengal, Odisha, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so answer is D. Okay, so primary production idella ethelayume irukku, so none of the above will classify as doesn't produce. Okay, regarding jute, again another question, try and answer this. Since this is 150th year of that industry, it could be a question. World's largest producer, second most abundant natural fiber in the world. Compared to rice, jute requires very high amount of water and fertilizers. You need to know the facts to answer this kind of a question. Oh, Bhuvaneshwaran, that's actually a very good way. Which states share border with Bangladesh. ஏன்னா ஜூட்ல வந்து first India அப்படின்னா second is going to be Bangladesh தான் actually speaking. So with that you are coming up with a answer about which states can be a part of it. That's a good logic to remember. Okay, Bhuvneshwaran says answer is C for this particular question, meaning 2 and 3 only. So I think he has eliminated one. India is the world's largest producer of jute. I just now said India when it stands first, Bangladesh stands second. So answer is actually D, 1 and 2 only. Okay. Compared to rice, jute requires very high amount of water and fertilizers. This is a wrong statement. Rice requires a lot of water. Okay, not jute. ஓகே ஜூட்டோட ப்ராசஸிங்க்கு வேணா நிறைய தண்ணி வந்து தேவைப்படுமே தவிர யூ டோன்ட் ரெக்வயர் மச் ஆஃப் வாட்டர் அண்ட் ஃபர்டிலைசர்ஸ். ஜூட் வி கால் ஆஸ் அ ஸ்டடி கிராப். ஸ்டடி கிராப் அப்படின்னா இட் கேன் வித்ஸ்டாண்ட் ட்ராட் அண்ட் பெஸ்ட்ஸ் அண்ட் வீட்ஸ் லைக் எனி திங். Okay, it means it's a really strong kind of a crop, so which means you can eliminate 3. Okay, it is unreasonable comparison actually speaking for me, because rice and jute. Okay, so eliminate 3, you will actually come up with the answer. Answer is D, 1 and 2 only. Okay, so I have given here very less water and fertilizers is required for jute. It is resistant to most weeds. Okay, and it's a sturdy crop. Yes. Now again, it depends on whether you went back from my PPT and read this particular area, jute and cotton. And the question asks you the incorrect statement. Yes, guys. In the option, if you remember, கொல்கட்டால ஃபர்ஸ்ட் காட்டன் டெக்ஸ்டைல் காட்டன் மில் அப்படிங்கிறத வந்து நம்ம ஆக்சுவலா எலிமினேட் பண்ணோம், இஃப் யூ ரிமெம்பர் இன் ஹிஸ்டரி. ஓகே, பட் இங்க if you read this again properly, the first successful cotton mill in India was established in 1818. Okay, the first trial run for having a cotton mill was done in actually in Kolkata and not Bombay. Okay, ஆனா அந்த மிஷின் சக்சஸே ஆகல, ஏன்னா அது ஒர்க் ஆகல. ஓகே, ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்டா ஃபங்க்ஷனலா இருந்த காட்டன் மில் பாம்பேல தான் நடந்தது. ஓகே, ஸோ எலிமினேட் 2. Okay, the first jute mill was established at Rishra. This statement is exactly from my slide. Okay, so 1 is definitely right and 2 is actually incorrect if I'm right. So solution is B. Incorrect is B option. Okay, so this also I have picked from your jute industry related Hindu, 150 years of Hindu. The first slide I showed you, right? This one, watch India's 150 years old jute industry, and the article irundha I have verbatim picked it up. Okay, so you can read at your leisure. Now this is a very simple question. I didn't ask you any question from economic survey like which is higher, which is lower. I want you to actually go and revise it, but today's class I don't want to make you feel bad, so I just put a simple stat over here. Try and answer this one. No, Ramya, it wasn't. Okay, the first successful cotton successful one was in Bombay only. Okay, so they moved it from Kolkata to Bombay only after that failed mission. Okay. Okay, Bhuvaneshwaran says D. Share of livestock in total GVA has increased in the past 5 years. Statement 2, according to me, is very reasonable. The share of crops in total GVA of the country has reduced in 2018-19 is actually true. Okay, yeah, now if you remember in class, we actually discussed this. Share of crops is continuously reducing in the past 5 years, and the share of livestock, animal husbandry, and fisheries is actually compensating for the loss in the share of crops, reduction in the share of crops, right? So that is how this thing works. So answer should be C. Now, so kind of a technology part of question, so try and answer this one. Kind of questions like fertigation and stuff we are always getting, right? So try this. Actually, we all know what aquaponics is about, what hydroponics is about, but see if you can solve this particular question. Yeah, yes, Ramya is actually right. Yeah, Ramya, good that you pointed out. Actually, the crops GVA, gross value added, has reduced, but the productivity in terms of quantity remains almost similar to how it was. Okay, yes. Okay, many people are going with all of the above. Guys, read the question properly. Which among the following are the merits associated with aquaponics? Does option 4 look like a merit for you? High initial costs? High initial cost cannot be a merit. So answer is D, 1, 2, and 3 only. Okay. Sometimes you need to read the question properly. Okay. Yeah. I don't understand why, but actually zero cost on fertilizers is an important point about aquaponics. Okay. Yeah. Now question number 18. This is a potential area given that in your Shankar environment book, sugarcane initiative is given as a last passage. Before that, system for rice intensification is given. So when rice intensification is a potential area, I believe even this direct seeding of rice is a good area for questioning. Okay, so if you literally understand what direct seeding could be, you can answer this one. Direct seeding of rice. What do you mean by that? எப்பவுமே ரைஸை வந்து ஒரு சின்ன நர்சரி மாதிரி கிரியேட் பண்ணி அதுல இருந்து டிரான்ஸ்பிளான்ட் பண்ணி எடுத்துக்கொண்டு போய் we will put in a main area that is ready for cultivation. கரெக்ட்டுங்களா? சின்ன நாத்தை வளர்த்து அதுக்கப்புறம் அதை எடுத்துக்கொண்டு போய் வந்து நடவு நடுவாங்க. That is how rice cultivation is actually done. Okay, that is called a nursery. The primitive thing that we have created is called a nursery, which we actually take and spread it across the land. Seed requirement for direct seeding of rice is very low. அப்படின்னா கம்மியான சீட்ஸ் போட்டா டைரக்டா வந்து நர்சரி கிரியேட் பண்ணாம வளர்க்கும் போது வளர்றதுக்கான சான்ஸ் இருக்கா? I feel that is too much. Laser land leveling is mandatory. ஏன்னா நீங்க டைரக்டா உள்ள போடுறீங்க. It is like drilling a small kind of hole and putting the seeds inside all of the holes. Okay, so yes, land should be in a perfect level. அப்பதான் நீங்க எந்த இடத்துல ஹோல் கிரியேட் பண்ணி எந்த அளவுக்கு போட்டாதான் சீட் வளருங்கிறத வந்து you can actually kind of understand. இது மேண்டேட்ரிங்கிறத பார்த்தோன்னா அது எக்ஸ்ட்ரீம் வேர்டுன்னு எலிமினேட் பண்ணக்கூடாது. Transplantation is cost effective-ஆ? வாய்ப்பே இல்லை. ஏன்னா I said it is not about transplantation அவாய்ட் பண்றதுக்காக தான் இது இருக்கவே இருக்கு. So eliminate A and D. Answer is okay. The question is asking incorrect options. Okay, so you have 1 and 3 which are wrong. Answer is D, 1 and 3 only. Yes, Ramya, you were right about the seed quantity. Okay, the question is asking for incorrect statements. So, like I explained, 1 and 3 are wrong. So, answer is D. Okay, I have put up all the advantages and disadvantages regarding this particular system. Go through it at your leisure. Then regarding biofertilizers, this is also a potential area. So try and answer this one. You know what? The past few questions that I have been talking about is only in your Shankar environment book. I did not pick it from any other advanced sources. Okay. Sometimes it just requires us to read what textbooks we have at our hand properly. Live as well as latent nitrogen fixers and phosphate solubilizers. Okay, let's see how. Then symbiotic bacteria such as azotobacter and clostridium could be used. You might be thinking, how am I supposed to even answer if I'm not from a biology background? But Shankar textbook is for everyone, right? So if you had read that particular one, you would have answered this easily. Okay, Minu says C. Both are correct. Okay. There's only a very simple trick over there. Okay. Symbiotic bacteria அப்படின்னா many nitrogen fixing bacteria are generally found. அது உங்களோட அமோனியா சைக்கிள் நைட்ரஜன் சைக்கிள் உங்களோட ஷங்கர் டெக்ஸ்ட் புக் படிச்சவங்களுக்கு கூட தெரியும். நைட்ரஜன் ஃபிக்சேஷன்ல there are multiple bacteria that are involved. எஸ், ஆனா அதுல இருக்கிற சிம்பயாட்டிக் பாக்டீரியல் ஸ்பீஷிஸ் வந்து ரைசோபியம் மட்டும்தான். Okay, these are non-symbiotic bacteria, azotobacter and clostridium. Okay, so go and see your Shankar book. It is explicitly mentioned. Symbiotic means it is done with the leguminous plants. I know you are aware of that particular fact. So leguminous plants oda interact பண்ணக்கூடியது rhizobium species தான். So non-symbiotic கீழ தான் bacteria, non-symbiotic bacteria கீழ தான் you have aerobic and anaerobic, and in aerobic you have azotobacter and azospirillum. Anaerobically you have clostridium and chlorobium, and in blue green algae you have anabena, nostoc and izola. Okay, so this classification இப்படியே it is given in your Shankar book only. So since these are in your book, you should be actually reading it. Yeah, okay. So try and answer this question on organic farming. It's a very potential area. I think I have already asked statement 1 in some of your test series, but still try it. Okay, so latent meaning it's not in an active state. Okay, maybe it is dormant of sorts. So this part in organic farm related start is also very important, and I have actually used the statement 1 in one of your previous tests. And this is one of the interesting contradictions in organic farming in India. So Bhuvneshwaran says D, none. நம்ம சிக்கிம் தான் கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கோம், அந்தமான் கேள்விப்பட்டதே இல்லை அப்படி சொல்லிட்டு. Have you eliminated because of that reason, Bhuvanesh? So do you know what is the other one other than Sikkim? Okay, Sharmi says A. Okay, so these statements you can't really answer without knowing the fact. 9th in production, actually speaking. So, okay, India ranks first in the number of organic farmers, but 9th in terms of area under organic farming. This is very, very important. Remember it. Then, after Sikkim, Lakshadweep has become the second one to acquire 100% organic region status, and it's not Andaman. And out of the Union territories, Lakshadweep stands first. Out of the states, Sikkim stands first. That is the status so far. Okay. Yes. Try and answer this one. We just have few more questions and then we'll conclude the session. It talks about advantages of zero tillage. Zero tillage na tilling is not done in the land. They let it, they let the land produce balance irunda kuda, stock irunda kuda, they let it become a manure for the land and they don't till it. Okay, Ramya says answer is C, 3 only. Okay. One might seem like an extreme statement. No nitrogen needs to be added அப்படின்ட்டு. Mineralization of soil increases significantly improving soil. Okay, that is also kind of extra. Surface runoff is reduced due to presence of mulch. Yes. ஏன்னா இப்போ நீங்கள் வந்து ஸ்டாக்கை அப்படியே அந்த லேண்ட் மேலேயே விட்டுட்டீங்க அப்படின்னா தேர் cannot be run off. ஸோ நியூட்ரியன்ஸ் வந்து வெளியே போகாது. That is what we call a mulch cover, right? The stock or whatever remains that are left on the land itself. So that prevents surface runoff. So statement 3 is definitely right. And no nitrogen needs to be added to the soil அப்படின்னா no, not necessarily. Tillage நடக்கிறதுல அப்படிங்கிறதுக்காக nitrogen add பண்ணாம இருக்கணுங்கிறது இல்ல. Nitrogen is actually needed. Mineralization of soil increases. It can't increase. If you see here, if less mineralization, therefore there is increase in the organic matter. Disadvantage ஓட important, இந்த zero tillage ஓட main disadvantage என்ன அப்படின்னா ஆர்கானிக் மேட்டர் வந்து மினரலைஸ் ஆகணும் அப்படின்னா இன்னும் அதிக நைட்ரஜன் வேணும். அப்ப நைட்ரஜனுக்கு நீங்க எக்ஸ்டர்னலா ஆக்சுவலா ஏதாவது ஒரு இன்புட் கொடுக்க தான் வேணும். ஓகே, ஸோ ஒரு வகையில மல்ச்சிங் மூலியமா நீங்க வந்து ஹியூமஸ் ரீடைன் பண்ண ட்ரை பண்ணாலும், ஆர்கானிக் மேட்டரை ரீட்ரெயின் பண்ண ட்ரை பண்ணாலும், அந்த ஆர்கானிக் மேட்டருக்குமே எக்ஸ்டர்னலா ஒரு நைட்ரஜன் சப்ளிமெண்ட் தேவை. ஓகே, அப்பதான் அங்க வந்து மினரல்ஸ் இன்னும் அதிகமாகிறதுக்கான ஸ்கோப் கிடைக்குது. Okay, so this is one of the major disadvantages associated to zero tillage, which you need to be aware of. Okay, this one. Whoever was attentive for the past few questions will be able to answer this particular question properly. Option C is absurd, right? It can't be mycobacteria, virus with algae, etc. So eliminate C. It's definitely not going to be an option. How about B? Earthworm on algal biomass? Again, that also doesn't make any sense. So eliminate B. A and D you are left with. Moss and lichen, are they algae? What is a moss? What is a lichen? They are? Yes, good. Answer is D. Blue-green algae and azolla together or algal biofertilizers. ஓகே, ப்ளூ கிரீன் ஆல்கே அப்படின்னு போட்டு நைட்ரஜன் ஃபிக்ஸிங்ல ஹைஃபன்ல சைனோபாக்டீரியா, ப்ளூ கிரீன் ஆல்கேல அசோலா, நாஸ்டாக் எல்லாம் போட்டிருந்தேன். கரெக்டுங்களா? ஸோ தே ஆர் யூஸ்ட் இன் தி ஆல்கல் பயோஃபர்டிலைசர்ஸ். எஸ், mosses and lichens are fungi and they are not algae. Okay, so answer is D. Good. 23. Organic farming does not deal with. Okay, Bhuvaneshwaran, all of the above it deals with. Actually, yes. So nutrient management, weed, insect, disease. The only difference is all these are managed, but through biological means. Okay, they are using active biological stuff or what is around us to actually deal with this. Inorganic and the weed manager or the pest managing substances so add pandradilla. Avloda difference thavara organic farming pays attention to all the four of these. Yes? Yeah. Okay. Geography people, come on. This is an easy question. Actually, it doesn't require geography optional to answer this, I guess. Okay, Bhuvneshwaran says A. Meenu says D. We are asking about the least. Least is actually in laterite, okay, due to intense leaching. It's given in your textbook itself, okay? So yeah, question number 25. This is actually an interesting question because I went wrong here. So I thought I should share this particular fact with you. Read the question statement properly before you kind of answer this. The GEAC has given approvals for confined field trials of 7 GM crops for generation of biosafety data of. So இந்த crops-ல எது எது இருக்கு இல்லைங்கிறத தான் நீங்க ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணணும். Ramya was once asking me, so ma'am, what are the ones that we have allowed for GM அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. GM for field trial allow பண்ணது எது, GM for consumption allow பண்ணது எதுங்கிற clarity நமக்கு வேணும். Okay. So field trial has been allowed for 7. அதை இங்க கொஸ்டின்லயே கொடுத்துட்டாங்க. இதுல இருக்கிறது அந்த 7ல இருக்கா இல்லையாங்கிறத ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்றது மட்டும்தான் உங்களோட ஜாப். Okay, Google says answer is C. 1, 2, and 3. Tomato alone he has eliminated. But people who were in our mains answer writing classes might know that we have Tavakala tomato, right? A frog's gene inside tomato. So 4 cannot be left out. Yes, answer is actually D. So I have given what are these ones? Potato, rubber, rice, groundnuts, brinjal, pigeon pea, chickpea, tomato, and cotton. Okay, all the 7 of them have been allowed for field trials. Again, for survey purposes, safety trial purposes, the 7 of them have been allowed. Okay, for consumption அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா we have in dispute for consumption. Again, I'm making it very right. ஏன்னா cotton வந்து it goes out of the list because it is not one that is being consumed. It's only used by the textile industry mostly and to some extent in other industries. Consumption அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா whichever came to the market but was stalled due to controversies were mustard, brinjal. Yes. Okay. Okay. Okay, try this one. We just have 4 more questions to go. Quick. India continues to be the largest producer of milk in the world. You definitely know that statement is right. I feel so because we have been continuously reading that statement. At constant price, the value of output from livestock is about 29% of the value of output. So this number might be a problem for you to answer this question. But this is from your India yearbook. Okay, I have just copy pasted the statement. It is actually 29%. Okay, so this is very important. Yeah, so go through the slide. Yes, Ramya, C. Yeah. regarding MSP. So this is also one of the things which gave me a kind of shock in either. So try and answer this one. There are always going to be statements that make you dizzy in UPSC exam. Statement one is fine, right? Except that you need to know it's reporting every year or not. Otherwise, the statement sounds actually fine. And pricing policy is rooted not in cost plus approach, though cost is an important determinant. ஏன்னா நம்ம நிறைய factors படிச்சிருக்கோம். If you see here, I'm just going for the answer. Okay, she says we'll go with option A. But Ramya, according to India Yearbook, the pricing policy is rooted not in cost plus approach, though cost is an important determinant of MSP. Okay, it has been verbatim picked from there. Okay, so cost of production on the one among the factors. And we have multiple other factors like intercrop parity, price trend, demand and supply, international market, non-agriculture sector, price stability related issues. All these are taken into account, but it is still not a cost plus approach. அப்படின்னு சொல்லி சொல்றாங்க. Okay, so this is kind of more technical. Someone who's dealing with this only can explain us why it is so, but it is definitely this because I checked somewhere else. Okay, so yearbook, this is how it speaks about it. Solution is actually C. Okay, now quick. India is the second largest fish producing country in the world. Second, and annual production ivlo metric ton. This is a big question mark. Statement one is actually difficult. Let's look at this. Maharashtra has a maximum production for marine fish. Fish again maximum. You need to know whether it is Maharashtra or not. India's key shrimp producing states. Okay, they are saying it could be Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, Odisha, and Gujarat. Could be. Demand for Indian seafood has consistently increased. That is also a question mark, whether it has consistently increased. Ramya, actually, I'm having a difficult time finding out why it is not cost push, cost plus approach. Okay, as soon as I find out, I'll definitely tell you people. Okay. So I just wanted to bring it to your notice that the official documents say that only. It is a recent document. அதுவே அப்படிதான் சொல்லுது. So I wanted to clarify why it is so. Once I find it out, I'll definitely explain you people about the last question. Okay. So now come to this one. Okay. So Bhuvaneshwaran says D 1 and 3 only. So he says this and this consistently increased eliminate பண்ணிருக்காரு. 4 வந்து ஏனோ தப்புன்னு டிசைட் பண்ணிருக்காரு. I don't know if he knew the fact. Okay, so answer is actually C 1, 3 and 4. Consistently increasedங்கிறது தப்பு. ஏன்னா இங்க வந்து they are not even talking about production. Demand பத்தி பேசுறாங்க. Demand ஒரே மாதிரி இருக்குமான்லாம் நமக்கு தெரியாது. So eliminate 2. So you are not, again, you're eliminating only A. So 1, 3 and 4 are right answers. This I again picked from Invest India website only. Okay, I picked it from Indian government page only. It gives you proper facts about fisheries industry. Okay, now the last two questions are like puzzles. You need to find the crop with the description given below. Okay, quick. It is so easy because I left few words for you to figure out easily what it could be. Bhuvaneshwaran, there it is Maharashtra only. It's not Gujarat. Who am I? Which crop am I? Which crop the slide describes? Above 35 is harmful, below 10 is harmful. Hot, humid, frequent showers, high humidity, heavy dew, morning fog. Okay, someone is saying cotton, someone is saying cashew. Tea, excellent. Answer is tea. Okay, I have given you, I have left with some residual words for you to identify there. I didn't want to make it very difficult. I gave tender leaves again and again. If you see, it's here, tender leaves, young leaves. Okay, how is cotton and cashews tender leaf is going to be important? Okay, and like I highlighted, frequent showers, high humidity, heavy dew, morning fog favor rapid development. So this is very typical of plant tea. Okay, yeah. So I have posted the facts here. Yeah, first, yeah, second. Go through this. Next, last one. Yeah, Bhuvneshwaran will deal with a lot of such questions hereafter. Okay, yeah. This is a perennial crop, long gestation period of 5 to 7 years. So these are areas where your contract farming will not work. Kind of, the crops production life is longer. I mean, contract farming can work, but that 5 year limit cannot work. That is what I meant to say. Okay, someone is saying, Ilamaran is saying coconut. Okay, anyone else? Anything else? Rubber. Hmm. uh, Actually, quite close, but it's not rubber, it's coconut. Okay, so answer is coconut. It's a perennial crop, meaning it is definitely coconut. Okay, it has a long gestation period. Rubber also has long, but it is not every year turn out கொடுக்குற crop வந்து கிடையாது அப்படி இல்ல. In quantities we extract rubber from it, and predominantly a tropical crop. So that is similar, but third largest producing country next to Indonesia and Philippines. That is a tricky statement there, which confirms coconut as the answer. Okay. So that is all for today. And there is one small announcement to make for tomorrow. We are actually dealing with Israel Palestine tomorrow, like a proper session of sorts, where we are discussing everything related to Israel Palestine conflict. Then we have India Israel relations, India Palestine relations, hyphenation or dehyphenation of Israel Palestine, and uh, things related to Middle East. Okay, so it's going to be a really longer session, but a very interesting session. I would like to ask every one of you to read a little bit about that and ask number of questions, because this time I feel the Middle East can be a part of map related questions in your prelims, and definitely you're going to get a world history question related to that. Okay, either a world history, just one question on Middle East, and most probably Arab versus Israel conflict, or another part where it could be asked is again GS2 in your IR related part. So I feel anyway this is actually very important for your exam, and I thought we'll deal with it in detail. So we'll meet you tomorrow morning. Thank you for joining today's class. We'll solve a lot of more MCQs in our coming class, and thank you everybody.